Hi, my name is Joyce Ugbosu. You're welcome to my YouTube channel where we talk about business, education, lifestyle, relationship, travels, and other life issues. Happy New Year! I'm happy to see all of you in 2023, and we are all here. And yes, we're in the new year. You hear things like goal setting, new year resolution, plans. Hey, calm down. The first thing I want you to work on is your mindset. You cannot do the same things you did in 2022 that did not work in 2023. The mindset is a battlefield. If you do not learn how to tame that mindset so that you can have peace, focus, you will not be.
No nation can rise above the quality of its education sector. No education sector can rise above the quality. It is time to redefine our place in Africa's society, and the rightful significance and reverence has shown us the demand for the hour and the future. We must embrace the current realities as an opportunity to upskill, no nation can rise above the quality of its education sector. No education sector can rise above the quality. It is time to redefine our place in Africa's society, and the rightful significance and reverence has shown us the demand for the hour and the future. We must embrace the current realities as an opportunity to upskill,
My name is Joyce Ugbosu. You're welcome to our first episode this year. I can see myself. Yeah. Happy New Year to everyone. Happy New Year. It's good to see you all alive. And backstage, we have our host. But before then, the waiting room has a theme song. I would like to play it while others are joining in. Let's enjoy this little clip for 2 minutes. Good evening. My name is Joyce Ugbosu, your host. Have to wait for the perfect time. You don't have to wait for the free ride. The girl keeps ticking like a move for your dreams. Let's later, never let us talk about it. You try to fail many times, but you know every coin has two sides. Oh, Lord, help us along the way. In the waiting room, God is waiting. Anyone can be what they want to be. You've got to move, and if you don't, something to fly. I can see all of you joining. If you believe it's gonna be easy, you've got to move on. Don't give up. Hold on, don't give up. It is your time. In the waiting room, God is waiting. Anyone can be alive. You can make a little money. If you're gone, something gonna fly. In the waiting room, God is saying to you, if you believe it's gonna be. I can't see you. Right up. Don't give up. It is your time. Waiting room, waiting room, yeah. Everyone can be what they want to be, fly, yeah. If you believe it's gonna be easy. So good evening, everyone. I can see all of you. Cool music says, hi, Pastor Stanley, I see you. Yeah. Ogona Agu, Ogoma Agu, I see you. That should be Chika. Ubamara, I see you. Welcome. So the theme song says, everybody can be what they want to be. So the purpose behind the waiting room is, while waiting, everyone is waiting for something, at every time in their life. But while waiting, what are you doing? We have to, be in the best position. What is your posture while you are waiting? And this evening we have our energetic, I call her an enigma, I call her a coach, I call her a mentor. She's backstage. I'll be bringing her in this one, but let me talk to my audience. I can see our people joining in. Chris, please, if you are joining in, let us know where you are joining from. Let us know where you are joining from. I can see all of you, dropping some greetings as you're coming in. So, we don't have time. We have to jump into it right away. But then I want to welcome all my audience. Are there any SAL Shans in the house? Just say your name, SAL Shans, so that we know that you are here. SAL Shans in the house. Put your name and put SAL Shans. Patience is streaming from Lagos. I see you. Obama joining from Enugu. Wow. Good evening. Thank you for joining in, Obama. Whoa, I can see you. I can see Derek. Derek is from Ibadan. I can see Christian. Christian is from Ebonyi. Whoa, we are all pumped up this evening. And how is your new year going? The year is already old. Ijoma IJ, that's my girl. She's joining from Lagos. And SA election. I think if you're an SA election, put it in front of you. Very, very important. So Coach Bimbo, I met Coach Bimbo last year. You know, she is a coach. I will soon read her profile. I'll bring in her in. I think I should bring her in before I read her profile. I'll talk about her. So please bring in my guest for the day, Dr. Abimbola Ogundere.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Excited to be here.
That's
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Hi, Joyce. Joyce is a power bunny, my energy bunny.
Yes, welcome to the waiting room, ma'am.
Fantastic,
So I'm going to read, but before I read her profile, Dr. Bimbo, I met her sometime last year, at the beginning of last year. As an educator. I will still read your profile, don't worry. And you know, the first day I met her, we had a physical meeting. I was just looking at her. I'm like, I thought I had energy until I met Dr. Bimbo, full of life, full of energy, but constructive energy. And I wonder how she does it. But then in all her business and everything, she's so focused that she knows where she's going. She's determined, dogged, and everything. And you know, I take some strength from her daily. I look at her and I want to achieve more. I want more out of life daily when I see her. So when a lot of people saw you on as a guest on the program, they were like, "Oh, I'll be there, Dr. Bimbo, I'll be there." So, ma, let me tell you that you are inspiring a whole lot of people. You know that that touch, that light you are carrying is actually touching other lives. That's why.
Thank you so much. You are far too kind. Thank you. Appreciate
so let's
that.
go to her profile right away. So, Dr. Abimbola Ogundere. I'm trying to get a profile from my phone. I can see people are still telling us where they are streaming from. Please go ahead, drop it, I'll read it once I'm done with this. Say, Dr. Bimbo is an education leadership and management expert, a school leadership coach, an education advocate, a thought leader and sought after speaker on education, leadership, and business of education. Dr. Bimbo is the CEO of Kids Court School and Court Hill College, and the Learning as I Teach Foundation. If you have ever heard of Light Foundation or Light Foundation, she is the brain behind it. She's the founder. A non-for-profit dedicated to improving the quality of education and education received by the African child. So Dr. Bimbo is the author of education-focused books, including best-selling The Right Teacher, The ABC of Teacher Professionalism, Hiring Right, The Complete Guide to Succeeding at School Leadership, and Leading for Well-Being in Schools. In 2018, the Light Foundation was awarded Best Education Collaboration in Nigeria by the ArcLight Foundation. In March 2021, she was recognized as one of the leading Ladies Africa 100 most inspiring women 2021 and Elvandra 5 outstanding women in business. In March 2022, she was awarded Educator Award by MasterCard and Entrepreneur Middle East. Okay, so we can go on and on and on and on with Dr. Bimbo's achievements. But let's start with this question, Dr. Bimbo. Well done. I'll first of all say well done.
Thank you, Joyce.
Thank you. To give you the strength that you need, you know, as you clear the path for all that to follow. Now, my first question to you is, how and when did you start Kids Court School, and at what point did you know that you're starting? Okay, so a pre to that is that Dr. Bimbo, went to medical school. She's a doctor, not an education doctor, a medical doctor. She went to school, medical school. She did not drop her. She finished, collected certificate and everything. So she is a medical doctor that now turned a teacher, an educator. So at what point did you know that, okay, I'm going to leave this and face education? Okay, Bimbo, over to you, that floor.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year to all. This is going to be our best year yet. That's my favorite. Happy New Year. Wish and greeting, right? So that every new year, our past would, our present, right? Our past would never be better than our future, So this is going to be such an excellent year for all of you. Well done, Joyce. Great to be here. I see all the powerful things that you're about. I'm happy that you are opening 2023 with my humble self, excited to be here. And all the SLLC, current, present, past, is so great. I've seen so many names. Judith is here. I've seen so many names. So exciting to be. We've met, right, on our group, but it's so great to be seeing all of you here as well, supporting, Joyce and the great work that she's doing. So well done, everybody. So I started, the Kids Court School was founded, right, in 2009. I think I was 27 years old then. And so the plan was, I had a very cute school, right, somewhere in Surulere, a nice creche, right, in Surulere. And I think for me it was because I was living in Surulere then, but I didn't, my husband and I didn't find, a school that we thought, or a creche that we thought was just nice enough for this our lovely daughter that we just gave birth to. So we used to go all the way to a school called Babyville. I'm sure Babyville is still there. Babyville in VI behind Ajose Adeogun, so behind Zenith Bank. So it was very strange. And I used to work in Luth then. So I would take my child all the way to VI. It was really ridiculous, to be honest, in retrospect. Take my child all the way to VI, go to Luth, then pick up and then go. I was young. I was probably, so maybe that was why I had the energy. I don't think I can even summon the energy to do that kind of thing now. So it wasn't that. So the Kids Court School was founded from a need, our own personal need as a couple, as a young family. And we just thought, okay, so if there was this gap, right, in Surulere then, so many things have happened since then. Then obviously there were a lot of people who would be experiencing the same. So what we did was we just started the school. And there's, again, another fantastic school in Lekki. It's called Discovery House. So there was a time where we then moved, it's a long story, but so I reached out to the lady at all this time I was still practicing medicine. I was still, going to the hospital. So there was even no thought that I was going to leave medicine. I'm the doctor of my family. Like, hi, this was the doctor that we've all been waiting for has finally arrived, right? So, so we went over to Discovery House. There's a very lovely lady there, the owner, who then just helped start up the school and all that. So, I'm answering the question of when I thought I was going to leave medicine. It wasn't until we had started the Kids Court School, and it was probably maybe 2 years old that I just thought, okay, let me take a break from this. It was just like a short break. And then let me focus on this thing that we had started. And, with me, even before I came into education, I've always been this, okay, things have to be done the right way, right? And then I never went back. And in the middle of that, God just clarified the calling to say, did I not ask you to get this done? And I've been here ever since. So there's no big magical story. But I would say that so the calling has become clearer, right? The reason, the purpose, the reason why, I hope you can hear me, because Joyce, you seem to be breaking. I hope you, Joyce, can you hear me? Let me be quiet small. I don't know. Can anybody hear me? Joyce is not the only one. Can anybody hear me? I don't know.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, fantastic.
Can you hear her? Let's hear.
I'm wondering if anybody can hear me. This, Joyce, I brought this serious
drop in the comment box. We can hear her. I can hear her.
Fantastic. Okay, fabulous. Okay, thank you. I think there's a delay anyway, so I'm going to pause a bit. I think there's a delay. So it was in the middle of the work while I was work.
Okay, they said
that the purpose and the calling became better clarified, and there was clarity. And then of course I've gone on to do all the other things that I'm doing presently. That's it. That's it.
Okay, well done. Thank you for that. So there's something I saw online. You're in the education, so you're training. So I know you are voracious with that. You consume anything knowledge. I saw a write-up, this week somewhere, and it's an anonymous writer. I said, if you think you learned something 6 months ago and you feel you are current, you might be outdated. What do you think about that statement?
I mean, I think it speaks to the fact that the world is moving very fast, right? And, the world is research-based. Every time, at every minute, even during this conversation, there are people, institutions, 100 years old, new institutions that are carrying out research about just the way we live our lives, right? So if we are depending on information that we received or we read or we learned about, some time ago, and we're not keeping ourselves current, right? We're not, keying into what is recent, then we're going to wake up one day and find out that whatever it is that we think we know is outdated, and we are sort of also losing relevance. And that's why I tell people that, especially leaders, if you are going to be significant, you need to understand that you must be a lifelong learner, because something is happening every single day. There's new research, there's new information, there's something new. So if you've learned about leadership a couple of months ago, today there's something new. There's someone that spent the last couple of years researching a book and has released the book, right? So there's all sorts out there. So I think as individuals, not even just leaders, if you are going to be relevant, if you are going to be significant, if you are going to make any kind of impact, then you must understand that then you must commit to continuous learning, continuous development. That's it. That's what I think that speaks to.
But I stumbled on something late last night, but I've not been able to go verify it. If you're in the comment section and you know about ChatGPT, they say is a Google killer. I said I'll use this week to check on it. So when so somebody was doing a talk about it, but I've been busy, I've not been able to check. But what the guy was trying to analyze is that ChatGPT will take Google out of business. So I'm there thinking, hey, Google was somewhere thinking they had it done. Do you get? The guy was trying to analyze that he just chatted, that he wanted something, and the thing gave him a plan, gave him, details of. I'm not like, where am I in this world? Do I know what is happening? So ChatGPT, somebody just confirmed it's true. Who is that person? Let me quickly read it. Somebody just confirmed on the comment section. So the guy is saying he's really scared for Google, that this particular ChatGPT is going to take Google out of business. Have you ever heard of the word? So this to corroborate what we're saying about if you are not current, if you don't keep updating, so you'll be out of business in no time. So Dr. B, what's your take on it? Okay, Christians, let me quickly read a few of their comments so that we can carry them along. Who was talking about we naturally stop living when we stop learning and self-improvement. Okay, I thought I saw a comment about the ChatGPT. Okay, Dr. People, what's your take on that? Okay, Ogona Agu. Okay, so Chika, I know that Chika is joining from US. they might have more information over there about the chat GPT.
No, so
she agreed to it. So fact. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so what it is, it's I mean, I wouldn't say I know a lot, but of course, like everybody, we've been seeing that trending, especially if you are very active on Twitter. And it's really artificial intelligence. And basically, you can have a conversation, you can ask anything, so it's like a chat box or a chat bot. So you can ask it anything. I mean, once you've downloaded it, you can ask, and guess what? You get the right response. So instead of us going into Google and then doing our search, it's almost like an advanced Siri, right? So now I can ask, and people have been using it in the last couple of weeks to even write books, and to just go ahead and just learn all sorts of things. And this is verifiable. So this is something that artificial intelligence, I'm asking you something and you are answering me, and I don't need to go and typing nonsense research and doing it. I can just sit down and say, hey, so what's happening? How you do, and so that's what it is. And like I said, the world is moving speed of light. So if you are there thinking, oh my goodness, I'm at the top of my game, right? Even just for yourself, for knowledge sake, right? The reason why I know about chat is because I like Twitter a lot. So I'm always on Twitter because there's a lot of interesting things there. That's why I know about. And then of course you just go ahead and research. So that's what it is. So Google is there obviously thinking, all right, game on, right? And I'm sure they are not sleeping right now. They're out there in their own, and then you can imagine what they will also come up with, and then the world just continues to grow and grow. So that's what it is really.
So it's a war. So if you're here, any sector you represent, you need to keep updating, and you need to. So while I'm saying this, I'm going to talk about. I'll still go back to Dr. Bimbo's SALLC. I want to believe is because you want to teachers to get updated. That's why that program came up. You responded. I was in a teachers gathering some years ago, like really long ago, like 6 or 7 years ago in Delta State. I was one of the guest speakers, and I was telling them something about there was no COVID then, there was not, but there was a statement I made that trended, after that event, that if you're a teacher and you don't know technology, the technology is not coming to take over your work. But if you're a teacher and you don't know technology, you'll be out of job in no time. You need to get updated. You need to keep updating yourself and all that. So a few years came and COVID came. And so that matter came up again in that circle, that this is what this lady was saying how many years ago, that if you're a teacher and you don't know technology. So as a Light Foundation and what you're doing, what's for a lot of people are here that are not in that community, what are you doing in the world of education, and what prompted you to pick up that call? Nobody's paying for that, but then you came up with the foundation, and then
so it's so when I came into education from the medical sector, the medical field, what you find in medicine is if you're meant to give 5 milligrams and give 50 of a certain drug, then there's adverse effect. So we were trained to be very precise, very pay attention to detail, right? Understand that whatever you are doing, you are holding someone's life, right, in your hands. So you can't just do it without a lot of intention. And so when I came into the education sector, from the school, started it, a couple of children, a couple of teachers, and it was growing. So I observed that the education sector were not so we don't pay as much attention to detail, right? And then you want to teach a child something, you teach the wrong thing, and the teacher is like, oh, okay, and I couldn't understand, I couldn't wrap my mind around that you can't do that. There has to be you have to pay attention. And I remember I used to say that, so because the child is not dying physically does not mean that the child is not dead. Research shows that it takes a child 2 years to get over 1 year of bad teacher. if a child experiences a bad teacher for a whole year, it takes that child another 2 years to get over that teacher. So you are setting that child back how many years? So it was very interesting to me. And I thought, okay, let me start training my people. And I think that was probably the reason why I sort of started looking away from medicine, because I thought, okay, I'm not going to set this up and it's going to be funny. I need to sort this out. I need to fix this, right? So I started training my own teachers, and of course, very rigorously. I was also quite young, so there would always be a lot of, excess energy, right? That people just didn't understand in the sector. And it was like, I remember in the first few years, I had a very bad reputation. Like, who is that crazy person just coming and just saying things? I remember I'll go for meetings with old people and I'll be telling them, what are you guys thinking about? Emotional intelligence was not very high then. Anyway, so I did that. And then I thought, okay, people would always come and go, which we're still experiencing. So you do all that and your teacher leaves, and then there's a new teacher, and I go, I'm going to start this all over again. So what I did then was I thought, okay, let me go into the wider society, right? And start speaking to all teachers and all, school, so that it's not, so somehow it would circle back to me, right? It would circle back, right? And that was how the Learning as I Teach Foundation. So it was learning as I sat down in my house one day and I thought, learning as I teach. So as I'm teaching, I'm also learning. And I think it also spoke to the fact that sometimes as teachers, right, we forget that we have to keep on learning. I mean, you brought up the issue of Google and the chat GPT now, right? So we have to keep on learning. But you find then that, the world has changed in the last, decade, right? So you find then that I'm a teacher, I left school 10 years ago, and that's so great. My life is so great. Oh, go for training. No, I have to go to the market. I'm washing my clothes. That's it was ridiculous. And I just thought, okay, it'll be good to take this message out there. And that was how Learn As I Teach. So the Learn As I Teach Foundation is really focused on ensuring that the children in our classrooms across the African continent have the best possible educational experiences. And we understand that teachers are the primary school-based, the most important school-based factor for learning outcomes. So that's why we focus on the teachers. So if the teachers are great, right, and that ripple effect keeps on happening, then of course, no matter where the child is, the children are going to get that, right? We did that for a couple of years, and then teachers will come back to me and say, Dr. Ogundere, clap for yourself, well done, blah, blah, blah. But half of the things that you're telling us here, when we go back to our schools, the head teachers, the school owners are like, nope, that's not going to happen. So they did not have autonomy or decision-making power, right? To say, okay, I've learned this, so now let me go and do this. So you come back to Light Foundation, and then you're like, to the Light, training sessions, and you're like, that one that you said, nobody's answering me from, So I thought, okay, you know what? Let's move this to the leaders. Now, if you connect with a leader, you are connected to at least 10 teachers. You connect to 10 teachers, you are connected to at least 200. At least 200. And that was where the SLLC started from. The succeeding at leading a learning community. That's where that came from. And since we started in 2020, we've had over 100 school leaders take the program in 7 cohorts. The new cohort is starting on the 16th. We have 51 school leaders. 52. Someone just paid today. And I said, it's over. We're not going to pay again, And then we've also gotten very good feedback. Someone like yourself, a lot of people who have done the program just gives, because I realized that there's nowhere where we actually learn about leading schools explicitly, especially here in Nigeria. Yes. And the practicality of, okay, I'm listening to someone who is presently still leading a school, right? I tell people that nobody handed the Kids Court School to me. I sat down, I was in church that day, and the name came Kids Court School, and I wrote it down. I have the book. When that in 2008, it was clear, Kids Court School. So I've been, to the glory of God and fabulous helpers along the way, the school has grown into a college, and we have such a good reputation to the glory of God. So that was where that came from. Yeah.
fantastic, Dr. Bimbo. We need to run. We have 1 hour, so we still have like 2 or 3 questions. And please,
You are the one asking me question. No, you are the one asking me question. I'm sitting down here quietly, and I must answer your question because you said to me you must answer a hand. So I'm here answering questions.
I know, right? Okay, so if you have questions, the audience, please, can you just drop them on the chat box if you have questions? So, you are a parent, a wife, a mother, and someone told me that, okay, so before you say we are gossiping about, someone told that she was at your house one day, and on Saturday, I think, if I said something, some people will know that you were supposed to be in a meeting. Next thing, you just carried your children, you entered the car, you were going for swimming lessons or piano lessons, or that you moved, it was you boom, 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 boom. So I can see some intentionality in your parenting. The parents here, that their kids are returning back to school tomorrow. Some are going back to the boarding house. So as a parent, as a teacher, as a wife, a mother, what advice do you have for parents that their kids are returning to school tomorrow?
So I think at the center of it is God, to be honest, who is everywhere that even we can't be, who is able to see all the things that we can't see, and who continues to help us fight our battles and just protect us. So for me, at the center of my life and my being is God, because I understand that many of the things that I want to do, I want to become, right? They're not things that I can do with my own mind. So God and the Holy Spirit is at the center of a lot of that. I apologize if you're not Christian, but I am. So I will speak to that, right? Now, the other thing is how you are present in your children's lives. It's very difficult in Nigeria now, because there's a lot of there's the hustle mentality. There's so many things. So sometimes you find that you are not as present, and sometimes it's not just being physically present, but also being emotionally present, being psychologically present, being present as a friend, being present as someone. Like today, I have played with my children. There's all sorts that we talk about. My daughter and I, my firstborn, we have cried together today. And just this today, so there's that, just understanding that you can't be an absentee parent. And I realize that that's what many of us want to do. We want to throw money, we want to throw gifts, we want to throw, but we are not present. So we are not able to connect with our children, because that's what it is. Your child is your child for life, right? So the sooner you start getting in that bond, that's another thing. So I try to be very present. I'm also very, with my husband, there's what is our vision for our family, what is our vision for our children, so there's clarity on that. And all the things that we do, right, are in step with helping them to, as a family, to achieve this vision, this collective vision that we have. So my children learning music, my children, being in sports, my children, having, those are things that they are the vision that we have, right? And we're just doing the work that we need to do now, so that whatever it is that we need in future, we can see that, right? So that speaks to what you're speaking about in terms of intentionality. Now with parents, with parents who, I'm a parent. I have, my son just came in, and I have this year they'll be 16, 13 and 8 this year, right? So I have children are actively in school. And I think what is important is always the preparation, right? The preparation for school, right? Is there a system that you have? Is there a structure that you have in terms of bedtime, in terms of, when they wake up, what do they do when they wake up, in the morning? I always try to do, include prayer in the morning, so that they just understand the fact that we must start our day a certain way. Sometimes when we don't, my son who is 7 would come and say, we have not prayed today, So just creating a structure. And you see, children understand and appreciate routine. This, especially for children who have children, parents who have children in day school, there must be a routine. There must be, we do this, we do this, we do this. do this, we do this, we do this. There must be a routine. Because what happens is that is the consistency that makes excellence and greatness. Where there's no consistency, there's a problem, right? Now, with parents who have children going to the boarding school, obviously there's that conversation that you must have. You know, these are the expectations, right? These are the things that, you know, I always say is a Yoruba thing. Remember the child of whom you are. I don't know if it's the thing, yes. Right, you are going there, you are representing the family. You know, these are the things that we are meant to be, you know, the families, our values as a family, you know, so you have those conversations with your child because you're not going to see your child. So you are not depending on your child to remember you, right, for the next 3 months. And remember the do's and the don'ts, right? That is key. So routine is important. Centering the child and your children very early on is also very, very key. And keeping an eye out, being present. So my child has a face. What happened to you? What was that face? You know, and I know those faces because I am present. I think that's what it is. So don't think that, oh, because you have money, that means, oh, just take the latest game and that is it, right?
And that's
Let me stop there because
Dr. Bimbo, I'm kind of not really close to you, but I'm in your circle, so I've observed 1, 2, 3. Some people will say, hey, she has a supportive husband, her husband is always there for her and all that. What happens to the woman that has the kind of your dream, have children and all that, and the husband is not supportive? What words do we really have for?
So I love how you said that. So I was going to go into support system, but I just looked at the time. I didn't want to frustrate you.
Don't worry.
Because you know that there's no time I will
These people here, they don't look like people that want to go. They don't look
there's no time I will speak about success without speaking about a support system. And one of the first things you learn when you do, you know, SLLC module 1 is your support system. Do you understand? And for me, very clear, right? I have, God has blessed me with a lot of wonderful, you know, people. My husband is great. You know, I have good friends. My family, my sister, my siblings, my mom, you know, friends, even people that I've met at SLLC. So, you know, there's Toyosi, Babatunde, you know, there are people who are just fantastic.
Yeah, I can see her.
You know what I mean? So that is easy for me. You know, there are people at the kids' school. So I'm big on bringing people together and let us do the work together. Now, but to your question where, you know, but you see, I just mentioned about 6 types of support system, and my husband is only one. So if I don't have a husband, I will still be great. I'm sorry to say, because I would also still lean on my support system. Oh yes, because these are the, you know, I like, you know, your entry video was talking about mindset. Sometimes we die in our mind first before death comes to us physically, and we fail in our minds first before failure comes to us. Some people say, okay, because I don't have a husband, that means that's the end. Absolutely not. There are fantastic people out there who at times will even do more than some husbands. I get what I'm saying. They will do bigger and better things than some husbands. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's for you to select them intentionally and prayerfully, letting the Holy Spirit guide you, right? And then investing in those relationships, right? Because, you know, sometimes you say it's money. You know, it's what do husbands do, right? Okay, money, the children, the clinical. You know, if you have I'm not saying anything against husbands, don't get me wrong, but I'm trying to speak to what you have said. If you find if you find a housekeeper, who is a babanla housekeeper, that the housekeeper that God sent to you, as they were making you, God sent the housekeeper to your life. You know that housekeeper, what the housekeeper is going to do. Hey, housekeeper that will make sure that your children are well dressed. They take them for swimming, take them for piano, take them for this. As you're coming home, your food is ready. My brother and my sister. So sometimes what I'm saying is that sometimes we sit down in the things we don't have, and we let the things that we don't have dictate our life instead of focusing on what you have. and saying, I have this. How can I make what I have? How can I move what I have from 20% to 100%? So that what I have can deliver a life that I want to live for me. So that's the problem we have. You know, so people sit down, I don't have. You know, if I have a husband, if I have a this, if I have a that, some people don't have parents and they are successful. You know what I mean? Some people were they were orphans dropped in husband in orphanages. They are successful today. Then you with your mother and your father, they are still complaining. I'm not saying anything again.
Okay, so I can. Okay. Can you hear? Okay.
I can hear you. You are there.
I should. Okay. I wanted to read some of the comments from our audience. I can see the comment section is buzzing with loads and loads of comments. So let's carry them along. Okay, so where is my comment? All right. Ogona Agu, how can I make use of what I have? But Dr. Abimbola, please pen that down. We'll soon enter their comments, audience question and answer. So please, let's spend that on the academic. Focus is what you are. Toyosi Baba says, focus is what you have and make it sufficient, profound. Awesome, says Ella Jacobs. Ella Jacobs is from my school. She's my parents. Ms. Ego, thank you for coming. Awesome, man. Thanks so much. I am happy they are hearing you. Dan Ladi says, okay. Ijo Manele says, some husbands can be an extra baggage, but some are God sent. Exactly. That's what Dr. Bibo enjoys. Enjoying a God-sent husband. Because I've been at school once. I saw the husband there. I'm like, oh, this woman, she's just cruising. So Patience says, dying in your hands is the death of a coward. Pastor Stanley, I see you. You have been on the comment session. Sweetie Maboma says, well done, ma, and so on and so forth. Okay, Ella Jacob says, my father's mantra, remember the son, daughter of whom you are. Yes, Dr. Bibo said that too. I can see it. And my pastor is also here. Pastor Joyce says, very true. They are all concurring. Your presence matters. Thank you so much, everyone on the comment section. So before we go to Agu's question, I would want us to say something to, if you're running a school in Nigeria, you see, high rate of movement of teachers moving in and moving out. So I was in my parents' teachers forum one time, and sometime last year, I stood up and like, what are you going to do to keep your teeth? What are you going to do to keep your teachers and all that? I thank God it was a parent that answered. It was a parent that actually, answered that question. She's an HR practitioner. Told her there's nothing she can do to keep her teachers. If you like sign a contract, I'm just telling you a live conversation. If you like sign a contract, send them abroad, do all you want to do. The teacher that wants to leave will leave. You understand? So I would add this point. So there's now an opening for teachers in UK, teachers come to Australia, teachers come to, so it's something that is trending. We already have a problem in our hands that, okay, teachers are not staying. Another problem, hey, I see a lot of school owners here. Another problem I see in the industry is, before you respond, Dr. Bibo, I was interviewing some new teachers for my school in the course of the week. And some guy that prided himself in that is an expert in English, with plenty degrees and all that. I just started a simple conversation with him, to tell me about himself and all that. As I was asking that question, how do you? The question is, how do you teach your English? How do you structure it? And this guy started telling me how he went to Liberia, how he went to Cameroon, how he traveled to teach the children, and their grammar is not good. And he started doing dramatic. I said, excuse me, sir. I meant, maybe you don't understand my question. I said, how do you structure English? Can you explain how, there's grammar, there's comprehension? that guy couldn't answer that question. And I just, put my hand in my head and let go. So for me, there's another, pandemic, the pandemic of knowledge, pandemic of good quality teachers. So as you respond to that, they are leaving, they are not staying and all that. The quality of teachers that we have right now. What do you have to say about that?
All right. So the HR person the HR lady that was in your school meeting is right. Sometimes, and I was having this conversation this evening before this, and I was saying to the person who called me that everybody is on their own journey. Everybody's on their own life journey, and they are certain things that they want out of life, right? So your school, our schools, all the schools are just stops along the way, right? So you then saying, oh, people, will leave. People will leave, right? The prayer is that many stay than leave, but is somebody going to leave your school at some point? Yes, and it's for any reason, right? So a young someone that joined you as a young girl, right, now gets a lovely husband that has been praying for at NSDPD and the NSDPP or whatever, has been praying, fire catching fire. The husband now comes. The husband now says, we can't live in Aja again, no. We are going to live in Surulere. You now say, no, stay in my school. I don't understand. How does that work for you? So my point is, and I keep on telling people what is happening now is just another reason that teachers have to leave your school, to leave our schools, and it is a nice looking reason. Like, hey, come abroad and be a teacher abroad is a nice reason. But my point is that even without this reason, there are 500 billion other reasons why teachers leave schools. So what we should focus on is not why are they leaving. The focus should be, what structure do you have in place? What system do you have in place to ensure and assure continuous quality, even when people come and they go? And this speaks to systems, structure, processes, operating procedures, and just having a standardized school system. That when somebody comes in, it will just be almost a plug and a play. And then you must also keep your parents informed, right? I'm not the UK that opened, I'm not the one that told the UK to open their gates for teachers in Nigeria. I'm not. So you can't now decide that I'm the one to blame. I'm not. I'll give you. Excuse me. I'll give you a very good. I have a great teacher who has been at my nursery school for a while. Excuse me. A great teacher, and she got married last year. We all, I typically look for weddings. Excuse me, but they all went for the wedding. She got pregnant. She has resigned.
Oh.
Because her husband is not living in our area. And after a while, when you see your poor wife that is pregnant going to a far place because of this thing called a job, and it doesn't align with your family values and what you want for your family, you will tell her quietly, Mama, please resign, no. And the man will say, Baba, okay, I will. And that's it. So that speaks to this whole thing. What we need to do as schools is to create a proper system, a proper structure that allows, people to come and to go. And of course, retain, have structures that help to retain people, right? If your school is not a great place to work, nobody is going to want to work in your school. I'll give you an example. I like to share my story very openly. Recently, right, over the weekend, over the holiday, one of the Southshan and Southshan's SLC alumni was, is this thing going to end at 1 hour? Is it going to end? Is it going to go off after 1 hour? Can you hear me?
No, it's not like that. So, guys,
okay, because I wanted to give you gist, but
first, let's take permission from them.
Okay.
No, wait, you give me this. Let's take permission from the audience. Can we add 10 minutes to this program, please? People on the audience, should we close shop? Should we close and go home? I want to hear from the audience. If they want us to close, we can close. If they don't want to, then we can add like 10 minutes for them. Let me see response for a few people. Then I go ahead. Can we go now, or we should give up 10 minutes, 10 more minutes? Say, please go ahead. I can see Toyo Baba says, go ahead. And the patient says, yes, we can stay for more time. Emily say yes.
Some people just like
Dr. Bimbo, fire down.
Some people just like gist.
I can't agree less. Go ahead, fire down.
Some people just like
give us gist.
So and that's one of the things that we enjoy as the SLLC community, right? So a school owner who is in the community, reached out to me to say, oh, I was interviewing someone. I just saw Kids Court and I was interviewing, and I thought to just give you feedback. And that this person says, yes. oh my goodness, we are, we always we leave late. We're always working till 7 o'clock. We're always so just that feedback. And I always tell people that I'm open. I love feedback. I'm not going to people that if you now give feedback, you now be like, hey, no, I have no business, no problem with feedback. And maybe she said that to me. I thought, oh, fantastic. The audio she forwarded to me, I forwarded it to the leaders at the school.
Wow.
I said, you people, so this is what we are about now. This is so this someone that has worked with you. This is the feedback the person has, right? That is becoming more difficult to work at the Kids Court School. Is that the reputation? Is that the experience? Is that, and we took it to town. Then I dragged like 2 of them into another private chat. And we finished each other in that chat. That's how, and when we are ready to see our business like that, when we are ready to ensure that our schools remain places where people enjoy working and they find it easy to work there, and at any time we can course correct, when we get out of line and course correct, then people would always, I have someone that is calling me on my phone. She wants to come and work at Kids Court. She's one big woman that has worked. She has been disturbing me on my phone. I want to work. That's my point. So as people are going, if you have a good reputation as a school, people will keep on coming. Water is always finding its level. Life is not that hard. But we are now carrying on our head. People should not go. Is that the focus? The focus should, must I ensure that this school remains somewhere that people like to work? That's it. Now, when we speak to poorly trained teachers, it's a cycle. If we are poorly trained, we will not teach the children well. The children become poorly trained, and da. So a child is only as good as the teachers, both at home and in school. True. A child, let me say that again. A child is only as good as the teachers. The influences around that child, both at home and in school. And that's why we are carrying a placard against a lot of technology exposure, because that technology is also becoming a teacher.
True. So, Dr. B, speak to that at this juncture. You just reminded me of a question I wanted to ask that I did not put down. Technology. We see a lot of cartoons, a lot of movies. Like one of the things we enjoy in the SLSC community, when these things come out, they flash them there so that we can be aware. Films, books, cartoons that are now really. I saw one of the other day of the Tom and Jerry. I don't know how many of you saw that one. Having sex, Tom and Jerry movie. So what do you have to say about that? How can parents guide against those technology.
That's no more Tom and Jerry. That's not.
I love this comment. I love this comment by Ella Jacobs. Ella Jacobs says, this is a complete masterclass. You cannot pay Dr. Bimbo, so all of you be writing down, no. You pay her to speak. So she's coming to speak to you for free because somebody paid and gained access. So please write that. I love that comment. Complete masterclass.
I'm still laughing. I'm still laughing at the Tom and Jerry having said. They are now Tommy Ling and Jefferson.
Tommy Ling and Jefferson.
No, I'm not saying they are no more Tom and Jerry. They've become something else.
Yes.
I think we're yet to fully understand the problem that we are in when it comes to the exposure that our children are getting from these sources that we cannot control. Or we can control the source, we cannot control the content. And many of us are still playing lip service to the fact that, oh, let's reduce it, let's control it. And take it. We are tired. You are disturbing me.
Parental control.
You are taking, until we sit down and really decide. Oh, there was something there. I mean, let me not digress. But until we understand that these sources are teaching our children. They are teaching our children actively, even more than we are.
I agree.
Then we will we'll find a solution. I have friends, let me be honest with you. I have friends who do not have Wi-Fi in their homes. I have friends who their children don't have gadgets or tablets. They watch TV, but they don't have all these tablets, phone. Hey. They don't have Wi-Fi in their house. I have friends who, it's a time that the children are exposed, So there are many things that we can do, and it's around control and censorship. Control and censorship and just reducing access. Many of us have Wi-Fi that is open from morning to night, even the middle of the night. And our children still have their phones and their laptops and the gadgets in the middle of the night. And we now say good night, bye-bye, and we go to bed.
Speak to me, Dr. Bimbo. So I have to be put on my Wi-Fi.
We know. Let me tell you, we know what we can do. The issue is, are we ready to get it done? And many times we are going to get on the bad side of the children. Today, I had to break a news to my daughter, and she started crying. And I told her that, let me tell you something. I need you to tell me how you feel. And she spoke to me, and she told me how she felt. And I said that, Mochua, you are old enough to understand some things at a family level. And that is why we are carrying you along. Do you understand what I mean? And we don't want it to be a shock. So you will speak to your children, you will censor. But many of us are absent, and we now use technology we now want technology to be
replace
present. That at least you are happy. So I can just be doing my own private thing that I was doing. Only God knows what that is. So this is not there's no great big issue. When we are ready to protect our children, we will protect our children. I'll give an example of the school. There was a day, in our school, maybe a couple of years ago, where we had about 6 children in primary 6. And they came and they were, Malians, something. I suspended all of them.
Malians in school.
Malians, and and I was waiting for the parents that would come and tell me that what are you up to? Nobody dared. It's not by force. So if you don't want I will give you your money back and I'll put interest. Your money means nothing to me. Absolutely nothing. Because you see, this is where parents, with all due respect to all the parents, I'm not generalizing. Some parents now want to hold the school to ransom.
School.
You know,
Yeah.
because you know I've paid you. I will take my charge away. Baba, I will give you interest. You and that your child, all of you, you can go and I will dash you money. So we as human beings, we know what to do. Sometimes it is fear, sometimes it is carelessness, sometimes we are even lazy.
True.
So there's no big whatever. Let me tell you something. When I was in secondary school, people were taking drugs. People were sleeping with each other. People were pregnant. People, when I was, so there's something that's happening now that did not happen in our own time.
True.
What's happening now that didn't happen in our own time? Are you? I have a friend that got pregnant at the age of 15. And she went and gave birth, you know. So there's nothing now that, but the issue now is that parents have become lazy. And schools have become fearful. That's it. And then the children are left to their own devices.
As we begin, Dr. Bimbo, please, can everybody just start dropping a thank you to Dr. Bimbo on the comments? So I know I had one question from...
Someone says, how can I make use of what I have now?
Let me bring up that question. It says, for children. Because of the radicalism portrayed, its impact. Yes, that fighting between that parents and children are right is whatever they watch. Yes. I agree with you, Obo. I really agree with you. Derek says cyber bullies are also there to contend with the addition of these not very good videos. It's a whole lot, and all hands should be on deck. Parents, teachers, school owners, inclusive. Thank you so much for that thought. Justin says, we cannot change what we tolerate. I don't remember something about laziness. You want the gadgets and so I've seen parents where do phone give to their child to eat, the child to eat, but because
okay, can anybody still hear me? I think she's having some network, or is it me that is having it? This whole internet, one is confused. Can anybody hear me? Because I can't see her. So am I still in the meeting? Okay, someone can. I'm still in the meeting. Okay, fantastic. Thank you, peace. So I'm still in the meeting. Okay, that's fine. Yes, okay. So she'll be back. She'll be back. You know, that's the thing about technology. Sometimes it just goes off. But I hope that we're all getting something from this. I hope we're getting something from this. Maybe we can share our one takeaway while we are waiting for Ambassador Joyce to come back. Can you share one takeaway? Share one takeaway in the comment section while we are waiting for Ambassador Joyce to come back. Yes, Joyce says parents have become relaxed. Absolutely. Just one takeaway from the conversation so far, because I'm sure when she comes back, we're going to probably round up, because we did an extra 10 minutes. So we're like 5 minutes into the extra 10 minutes. So yes, so let's share the takeaway. So how can I make use of what I have? That is the question, right? Sometimes we are so bogged down with what I don't have, what I don't have, that we forget what we have. And that's where the gratitude mindset comes in. And God says that in the little that I give you is where I'm going to give. What have you done with the small? The parable of the talent speaks to this. What have you done with the small that I have given you, right? So that's where the issue is. So do a conscious chronicling. That's what something my mentor has shared with has taught me. Chronicle your haves. Sit down, write. These are the things that I have, right? These are the things that I have, right? So that that gratitude mindset begins to come up, right? Number one. And then is when you see what you have that your resourcefulness now clicks in to say, how can I begin to use the things I have, right, properly to be able to get the things that I don't have. So many times we are not conscious of the things we have because we have not consciously brought them to fall, right? That is why we go about thinking, no, let me focus on the things I don't have, right? So I think I've answered that question. Welcome back, Ambassador Joyce. Welcome back.
Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am. So there's still one question I still want to ask. I've asked you this question before, but you did not answer me very well. Dr. Bimbo, that energy, what keeps you going? Don't go tell us Jesus is Lord and God is Lord. Yes, we understand Jesus is Lord part.
Jesus is
we
Lord, though.
God is
Hey,
God. We understand that part.
Jesus is Lord. That is my eternal confession. So again,
in our community, SLS, sometimes you see Dr. Bimbo 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, she's posting, midnight, she's posting, in the morning, she will post long, and I write up are not usually very like two lines or 3 lines. Does this woman sleep? That energy, as we go into the year, I want to pump people up. What keeps you running? That's my final question. We are going now, everybody. Thank you for staying.
So I think for me, there is a sense of purpose. There is also a love for what I do. You hardly find me doing something I don't love. So because I love what I do, I need zero motivation to get it done. Are you there?
Yes, go ahead. They can hear you. You go ahead.
All right, good. So I was saying that so there's a sense of purpose, there's clarity of mission, there's a love for what I do, so I would do it with zero motivation. My husband says that the things that you do, you can even do them for free. So as people are even paying you, you don't know that, I'm also big on time management. And it's one of the first things I teach people. How do you use your time? Because everybody's given the same 24 hours. So people just use theirs. How do you use yours? Are you using yours for the things that are priority to you? Do you even have a list of priority? Do you have the things that you are excited about doing? Do you have the things that are top? So I think that's it for me. This conversation like this,
just go ahead.
I can answer this for 1 hour, but that's what it is. Purpose, clarity, love for what I do, right? And just using my time properly. Those are the things.
Here you have it, everyone. Please. Fire. Emojis. Be dropping emojis for her. So much. Thank you so much. A big thank you to Dr. Bimbo. Thank you, Dr. Bimbo. Let me read out their comments as we bring this to a beautiful close. So, welcome back. If I say welcome back, Susan, I see you. My takeaway. Okay, people are dropping their takeaway. What is your takeaway? Thank you, Susan, for reminding. What is your takeaway? Please drop it on the comment section. My takeaway is to be intentional as a parent and as a school owner. Thank you so much. All my SALLians that are here to support us. I can see you all. God bless you. Toya Baba says, if parents abandon their post, we do the same as school owners, leaders. You're moving it as school owners, leaders and educators. That's true. That's sometimes I see some cases. I'm like, oh, we have a lot on our hands. We have to fill in the gap somehow. For some parents, we have to fill in the gap. Some parents that are not married, some parents, some children, their kids, no mother or the father is not present. So there's a lot of gap that we try to fill as schools. Abimbola Ogundere says, take all the minutes that you want. Okay, so thank you. Ella Jacob said thank you. Obo Omeja says, thanks, doctor. Great one. Time management is purely self-management. If one can manage self-time, if one can manage self, time becomes given. So on that note, time management notes, we have to let people go because A lot of schools are resuming tomorrow. Let them go and prepare. We're resuming on Wednesday. But a lot of people are resuming tomorrow. Please, let's allow them go. Dr. Bibo, I want to say a very big thank you to you for answering the call. Thank you for your time. I know you're a very busy person, but you took our time to come and be with us today to teach us, and we've learned so much from you. Thank you so much, and God bless you. And to everyone that made it out here today.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you to everyone that came to support this evening. God bless you. I hope you learned, and I hope we did not waste your time. Please, the comment section will still be open. Drop what you learned. Those are the things that gives Dr. Bibo adrenaline. That I did not waste. I did not waste time. She will pump out. She will go to the comment section. She will be seeing all your comments. She will be so happy. So please drop what you learned, your take home for today. All right, that's a wrap. Thank you. Bamara, I see you. Dr. Femi, I see you all the way from UK. Thank you so much. Chika, thank you from US. Thank you to everyone that joined me. God bless you. My name is Joyce Ugbosu, your host. Peace out.
Hi, my name is Joyce Ugbosu. You're welcome to my YouTube channel, where we talk about business, education, lifestyle, relationship, travels, and other life issues. Happy New Year! I'm happy to see all of you in 2023, and we are all here. And yes, we're in the new year. You hear things like goal setting, new year resolution, plans. Hey, calm down. The first thing I want you to work on is your mindset. You cannot do the same things you did in 2022 that did not work in 2023. The mindset is a battlefield. If you do not learn how to tame that mindset so that you can have peace, focus, you will not be